everyone. My name is Dr. Sean MacArthur from Westminster Choir College of Rider University. And in this series of videos, I'd like to share a little bit of what I have found useful in conducting virtual voice lessons. This last semester has been interesting for those of us in the arts. I'm sure you've had the same experience. Zoom allows some amazing connectivity across the country and indeed across the entire globe. I can have lessons with people pretty much anywhere, which is fantastic, but there are some limitations. Not only is the audio signal that we receive, regardless of what platform we're using, a little bit less, it's a degraded audio signal, but the idea of latency and that I cannot accompany my students makes it difficult to do the things that we do. I'm literally not in the room with them. Those of you who are in choirs have a compounded problem because you probably can't even hear your students, because if you allow them to sing without the mute button on, it's just chaos and cacophony. And so I've had to kind of shift the way that I teach a little bit. And to be honest, I kind of think it's relatively effective, and it aligns a lot with current principles of motor learning and how we process information and learn very complicated fine motor skills. What it requires, though, is on the part of the teacher or the conductor that we provide our students with the skills to self-assess. They need to be able to figure out what they're doing on their own, more or less, with some slight guidance with us. But if you can't hear your students, then you can't give them feedback. Fortunately, there are ways that we can help them through this. There are two components that are incredibly important, and in the subsequent videos, I'll be talking about some of the ways that I've been able to find success with this. We need to make certain our students know specifically what to focus on. Where we put our conscious computational power is incredibly important. And so we need to direct that focus onto very specific things. And then we need to let them know what they should be feeling so that they can get feedback when we aren't able to provide that for them. Oftentimes this feedback needs to be as perceptual as possible, meaning we need to engage the senses. What can they feel? What can they see? What can they hear? Taste and smell are a little bit more difficult to engage, so we're primarily going to be doing touch, sight, and hearing. So in the remainder of these videos, I'm going to walk you through the basics of technique, what I think are the most foundational, and a couple of the ways I've been able to find success with my students to provide them specific things to focus on and what kinds of feedback they can use to self-assess and gain autonomy as a singer.